Hey everybody, Sean Bukowski here. Hope you're all having a fantastic week. I want to talk a little bit about a legal issue this week. Sometimes we like to nerd out a little bit on some legal issues, and so this week that's what we're going to talk about. But it's all around real estate. And this week, talk about a scenario that I never knew about until law school, and that's like if you own a piece of real estate and somebody else is basically trespassing on that land, if they do it long enough and in the right way, they can actually acquire title to that land, to your land, just by effectively squatting on it. And it sounds crazy, but it's something called adverse possession, and it's common throughout most states, and certainly here in Texas. And I said squatters a minute ago, and that's kind of what people associate it with, a more colloquially version of that, squatters' rights. And so there are, it can happen. It can happen. But I will say this: it's a very strict rules. So the Texas Supreme Court, Texas courts have instituted very strict rules because it's not really favored under the law. That the trespasser can acquire rights in the land, and so you have to have sort of five very strict elements of the claim to make sure that you can actually acquire title to the land as a squatter or a trespasser. The first is that your use has to be open and notorious, and that means that it must be clear that you actually, as a trespasser, are claiming title or claiming access to the land. It must be hostile to the record owner, meaning it can't be because of the grant of permission from the owner. You have to actually have use of the land, so you have to physically be there to control the land, and you must have exclusive use of it, so exclude anyone else from using it. And finally, you must have continually use it for a certain amount of time, and that time it lasts a while. So there's different levels under Texas law. The most common is 10 years, which is a long time. But if you control the land to the exclusive of anybody else for land for at least 10 years, depending on there's some variations of that, but let's just use 10 for this example. Then yeah, you can, as a trespasser, can acquire legal title to the land over the record owner. So that's something that if you're, this isn't meant to scare anybody. It's just an issue of property law that people should be aware of. If you own real estate, just beware. Like, make sure that there's nobody squatting on your land, and if they are, you need to, hire us or something like that to make sure you get them off the land, because if you let it go and it lasts too long, they can actually acquire ownership of it. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you have a great week. If you do, please subscribe to our blog, a podcast, website, a weekly email, and otherwise have a great week.